Hell, that was a week. Oh, gosh dang. Come on. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to StraightA. Dawson here. Back with another episode of our same game parlay. Our parlay episode going into week 6 of the NFL season. Man, we are zooming through the season. It feels like at rapid speed. And you know what? I'm kind of digging it, kind of not, like this is a third way of the season. I'm kind of disappointed in a lot of ways. I'm like, man, I'm really getting invested, and I'm like, man, we're already a third through. They have to wait a whole another like 30 weeks or whatever it is. Oh man, it sucks, but whatever. It does not matter because what matters right here, right now, are these parlay bets, and I'll be straight with you guys. So the boys and I are working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. They're actually getting some filming dates and just kind of scheduled timelines of how this is all going to line up, and pretty soon it looks like we're going to have some more room for these different series. So I don't know how much longer this series will be active because quite frankly, once the Monday series kind of ends with the quarterly review, that will be an open spot. But then we kind of have to have another open spot for some of the ideas that we have. And I'm not going to say it's next week. I'm not going to say it's in 2 weeks. But we're starting to kind of nail down some dates where we might be able to record these videos and then kind of schedule these videos out to record them. And we kind of need more spots if we really want to be active with this stuff, because we actually want to do some more stuff together rather than just making it just me, because I think I'm entertaining. Of course, I'm always entertaining. I'm the best knowledgeable person with football. Not really. But I'm the one kind of committed to recording this stuff, but I'm also committed to making these stuff entertaining, and the boys naturally make it more entertaining with the banter that we do back and forth. And just quite frankly, it's just this series is not necessarily the driving force of the other series. It's the one that gets the least amount of views, comparatively from like 4 to 8, but it's still noticeable that some other videos get more interest than this video. And, it's disappointing, but it's how things go, and so we'll see if this continues. Can't promise that this will be the last episode, or how many more episodes are going to be of this, but just be kind of watching that if this, that this series might be the one that get axed when new series kind of come out. And again, I'm trying to be very careful with how I'm talking about these new series because I want them to kind of be a surprise, but I kind of want to talk about them too. So you know what? Conflicting things there. Beside the point, we're here with this episode, and we're going to go into it to kind of recap our last video of our parlay bets. So kind of initially, let's go ahead and just zoom in a little bit for you guys. That way you can see everything. The 14-leg parlay would see how many I hit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I went equally 7 and 7 for last week's games. Didn't get it was over for Chicago Bears and Commanders because it was an absolute big game, like 60 points plus. Jacksonville did end up winning, so that was good there. Under points for Colts and Titans, low-scoring game. Pittsburgh and the Ravens went like 27 points, so quite under. New York Giants didn't cover that spread at all. Houston Texans did not take a win. Carolina Panthers did not cover that spread at all. The New England Patriots definitely didn't win, I'll tell you that. Worst bet of the week, probably. The Cincinnati Bengals did cover the spread. The Philadelphia Eagles and Rams did get under those amount of points. New York Jets did win. Kansas City and Minnesota did hit the under there. San Francisco did cover the spread there. And Green Bay, money line, did not hit because Las Vegas did win. So, went even there. Not really too much to take in from all that. Just, again, NFL season kind of goes how it goes. And, we roll it. Now, the one that almost hit this week, we actually were only 2 legs away from winning $1,000 with $1. I forgot exactly. I think it was $1,800. But we had a 9-leg parlay with Josh Allen going over for passing yards. Great. DeAndre Hopkins getting under 4.5 receptions. Unfortunately, did not hit it. He got like 8. So very killer. Probably the one that made me the most disappointed. Jalen Waddle did get the first touchdown. Tank Dell got over his receiving yards. Bryce Young also got over his passing yards. Alvin Kamara did get a touchdown. DeAndre Swift did get over on his 66.5 rushing yards. And Brock Purdy did throw over 1.5 touchdowns. Joshua Dobbs also didn't get over on his passing yards, but for some reason that one was less disappointing because it was the second one to fail. Meanwhile, DeAndre Hopkins failed first, so kind of made me a little disappointed. Either way, in the same game parlay, I really banked on the fact that the Cowboys would do pretty well. Did not get that at all. I should have went George Kittle 3 times touchdown, but even then, after everything else, not very good. Because Dak Prescott had a horrible game. He didn't even get to rush the ball any. CeeDee Lamb didn't get the ball any. He did. Dak Prescott did rush for under 12.5 yards. Michael Gallup did not get over that yards. Brandon Ayuk didn't get over those yards because he didn't have a chance to. Dak Prescott did not get over 1.5 passing touchdowns, while Brandon Cooks did get under the 3.5 total receptions, and the 49ers did score over 24.5 points. Yeah, lots of good, lots of bad, but actually for the most part, 4 out of 9 for a game I really didn't hit too well on in my initial predictions here. This was just a beat down. Moving on, I did make a little small bonus bet with DeAndre Hopkins getting a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. He didn't get either, so not a big deal. And my 15-leg parlay with all the games did fail. But since I don't know when the series is going to end, I went ahead and made this bet again, just 14 legs this time, because I did take the over because I'm an idiot and didn't look at the weather predictions for that game. And yep. And honestly, even with that in mind, even without the weather, I probably shouldn't have taken the over. I'll be honest, both these teams. I guess Broncos have been putting up 20-plus points, and the Kansas City I did think was going to win, so I thought they were going to put up 20-plus points, equaling a 46.5. But then I was like, oh, wait, it's going to be a ground game because it's raining, and it's actually quite bad storm. So it was like 20 or 30, maybe 25 points or something like that. I can't remember total of let's say 8 to 19 or something. I don't know. So it was a pretty bad bet, and I decided I was like, I'm not gonna end that one. So I just knocked it down a leg. This was originally for I forgot how much money, but it was a decent amount. The new one's for a little bit less, obviously. But we do have 4 parlays this time, just because again I'm gonna make these bigger and better until we either get better receiving on those views or until eventually it gets cut. So we're going to start off with the 14-leg parlay. Kind of got a hint of it, but Baltimore, I expect them to cover the spread against Tennessee. I think they're going to have a kind of bounce-back game against Tennessee Titans because Ravens kind of have like a bad game, good game, bad game, good game. Titans do that too, but they're about due for a bad game while the Ravens are about due for a good game, I believe. So take the Ravens there. San Francisco covering the spread against Cleveland Browns. I'm done betting against the larger spreads for these good teams for the most part. The 49ers, I should be able to cover the spread, especially without Deshaun Watson in. I think it's a pretty easy take there. Washington, I do think it's going to win against the Atlanta Falcons. So it is a riskier bet because both teams are kind of mid. But the Washington Commanders, I think, kind of are in that spot where they're going to win games where they should win and lose games they should lose. They're kind of in that, I don't know, they're in that weird spot. I kind of said that wrong, didn't I? I think the Commanders surprised people is really what I should say. And a lot of people are doubting the doubting the Commanders this week. Against a good mid-team like the Falcons, I think I can see the Commanders taking a win. Carolina and Miami, I do think will go over the points because I think both teams are very capable of scoring big points. The run game from Panthers I'm kind of worried about, but the Miami itself can easily put up 30 points, and then the Panthers just have to do a Lions-type game and actually put up some points. So I think it's actually quite likely. It is a higher spread, a higher over than I would like, but take it as you will. Houston Texans, I do believe, are going to beat the New Orleans Saints. Minnesota Vikings spread over the Chicago Bears. I think that's a little too small, even though it's a divisional game. And Bears have looked really good. I think it's a wake-up call that the Minnesota Vikings, even without Justin Jefferson, will actually kind of do well here. I could see a world where those Bears beat them, but I can't see it right now. I just can't. I think the Vikings need this win more than the Bears do. Jacksonville, Indianapolis winning against the Indianapolis Colts, one of the better money line stakes. I took it. Cincinnati Bengals covering the spread against Seattle Seahawks. I believe it's a kind of aggressive spread there not aggressive, but it's like a lower spread for this game. I think the Bengals will have a really good game, and I think the Bengals are kind of back now. I think they're going to have some rough spots in the middle of the season, but I think against Seattle Seahawks they can kind of come back and say, hey, you know what, we're pretty good actually. We can do this. I do believe Las Vegas is going to win. Pretty easy bet there. And it was actually, the odds were actually quite nice for a really struggling New England Patriots team. Tampa Bay money line, it was higher odds, or in terms of lower odds, I should say, against Lions. Riskier bet, I'm not going to lie. If you saw the predictions video, I really debated about taking the Lions because I was like, man, I really want the Lions, but I also need another upset. And I really, really like Baker and them. They're coming off a bye week. It's a riskier bet, but I think Tampa Bay can at least make it a competitive game and make it worrisome for a lot of the other people that they might actually pull off a win against the Lions. And it's a team that I think Tampa Bay can beat. It's in that weird phase where I think Tampa Bay cannot be a top 5 team, probably can't be a top 8 team maybe. And I think Lions are in that top 10 spot where this is kind of like a make or break game for Tampa Bay, where if they win, they're kind of proving themselves to be like, hey, we might be able to actually, by the end of the season, become a really competitive team. while the Lions don't necessarily need this win in the way of like they're 4-1, so they have a comfortable lead, they have a comfortable record. But I also see Dan Campbell being like not letting these games up. Like he doesn't want to lose these games that he feels like he can win. So it's kind of an iffy statement. Either way, I have a lot of faith in Tampa Bay's offense, and I think Tampa Bay's defense could kind of eke out just enough of a performance against the offense of the Detroit Lions to kind of make something of itself. So we'll see. Arizona and Los Angeles, I believe, will easily get under 48.5. I don't see this being a high-scoring game. Philadelphia and New York under 41. I just don't see the New York Jets putting up a whole lot of points against a good defense, and I don't see the Eagles really milking it. They're not really a team that really put up a bunch of points on the team. Then New York Giants and Buffalo Bills over 43.5. I believe Josh Allen and them are going to cook on the Giants, and the Giants will kind of get a comeback or two and then kind of be done from there. Though I do think Daniel Jones is out, isn't he? So that might actually be a kind of a bad bet in that regard because the New York Giants offense might be struggling, especially if Saquon's not fully healthy. Then Dallas Cowboys, I think, will easily cover the spread against Los Angeles. I mean, at least a field goal. I don't see it being like a 1-point game or something like that. The payout is $8,000. Well, I think the other one was like 15, 14, whatever it was. So there you go. Then I have a 11-game parlay. I kind of just threw some ones together of just some things I liked. P.J. Walker getting at least one touchdown in the Cleveland 49ers game. I believe he can get one touchdown. I'm not too worried about that. I think it was like 217 odds for both of these. Felt really nice. I think Chris McCaffrey will be utilized in the receiving game more because I think Cleveland's run game is kind of underrated. I shouldn't say underrated because it's a good defense, but I think that they'll have to utilize him more in the receiving game, which I don't think is a big surprise. But it depends. What I'm kind of worried about is they get off to a strong enough lead, they might not need to use him in the receiving game, which might make the 30 points or 30 yards kind of aggressive. So we'll see. It was something I kind of liked, so we'll go with it. Nico Collins, I think, will get over 57.5 yards in the New Orleans Saints game. Believe that Tank Dell and him are going to kind of make more of a focus, but actually there was no Tank Dell one. I was actually going to go Tank Dell in this one. But, I saw Nico Collins. I was like, you know what? If he's the one being bet on, why not, actually put Nico Collins instead? So, take that as you will. Michael Thomas has kind of been mid. He's been around that 50-yard range. I'm going to lean under in this game. I don't know why, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of other good weapons from the Saints. Plus, I think they like Kamara enough to kind of split off the receiving yards between them all, or receptions, I really should say. Then we have Baker Mayfield going over his passing yards, 225.5. I think he's going to have a decent game. Baker Mayfield also throwing for more than one touchdown, or more than two touchdowns, sorry. Or two touchdowns or more, I should say. Derrick Henry rushing for over 63.5 yards. I believe he'll actually have a kind of a good low-key game against the Ravens, who are traditionally a really good defense on the rushing ground. But I think there'll be a kind of a rushing game between the Ravens and Titans and see who can get more yards. I think the Titans are probably going to get more yards, though. Riskier bet with Terry McLaurin getting the first touchdown. I mean, besides the run game of Atlanta, I really don't see anybody else getting a first touchdown unless it's just random. So, I mean, if somebody has a good bet, Scary Terry, decent bet there. Adam Thielen getting over 5.5 receptions. I think he's been averaging well over that, so I think we're good in that regard. I just want to make sure something. Boom. Okay, cool. DJ Moore getting over 4.5 receptions. I think he'll definitely get that. I think he's been more of a focus of the offense. DK Metcalf going under 6.5 yards. I don't know. Just felt like a game that maybe he just gets under that yards. The line's pretty good, but I wanted to bet on DK Metcalf this week since I've neglected him. But it just feels like a game that either the Bengals kind of step up on defense a little bit and kind of subdue him, or just a game maybe it's not DK's night. Either way, I'm not. This one's kind of more of a flip of the coin for me. But I like the under enough. And I have to log back in. But that was perfect timing this time. Thank you. Thank you, FanDuel. And we're back. The next one is the 8-leg parlay of just touchdown scores. I just decided to do one this week of like any touchdown score. So this is a little bit of change up with this video. Is that I decided to do just an extra one of just who can I get right in the touchdown scores. And I mean, obviously they're all a little bit higher odds. So I'm like, or a little bit lower odds to say. So I decided to make it a little bit less, make it around $2,000 bet, and let's go for it. The Alexander Madison, I believe it could be kind of a run-heavy offense from Vikings against the Bears. I think the Vikings can get off to a nice start, and then Alexander Madison will be more utilized. Jamar Chase, I think, coming off a game of 3 touchdowns, I think he can get 1 touchdown against a Seattle Seahawks team. Again, I think the Bengals are going to be kind of back. Jamar Chase is a big focal point. Feel confident in that. Nico Collins, kind of said this earlier, but I think Nico Collins, since I'm going in on Nico Collins on another bet, I feel comfortable taking him for a touchdown score as well. Because, Tank Dell was not been on the site at all. I haven't seen him this week. Normally he kind of is, though. So I decided, okay, let's go Nico Collins here. Jacoby Myers, I just believe, I don't know, this one's kind of a weird one for me. I believe it's kind of like a revenge game type play here for Jacoby Myers. So give him a touchdown. DeAndre Swift, I think he had a slow game last week, so coming back with a touchdown seems kind of reasonable. Amari DeMarcado from the Cardinals, actually the backup running back that since James Conner's out, I think it will kind of break out for a nice touchdown. He looks good. So I think against a Rams defense, which has been kind of struggling this season, I think he can get a touchdown here, especially with the Cardinals kind of maybe surprising in a divisional matchup. Then you have Mike Evans getting a touchdown. Again, I think Baker Mayfield's going to have a good game. Mike Evans is like his main target against not the best secondary in the Lions, but I think they can kind of eke out a Mike Evans touchdown. And I've been banking on CD Lamb forever. Feels like he's only got one touchdown this whole freaking season against the Chargers defense, which has been struggling. It's a really good defense, but they've been struggling. I think this is the week. I think this is finally the week where he's finally going to have a little bit better of a game. Dak Prescott, same case. Coming off a bad game like the 49ers, the Cowboys have to do well. And that's kind of banking on a Cowboys kind of comeback in that regard. Then finally we have my game of the week, which is going to be the Chargers-Cowboys, which in hindsight maybe shouldn't have taken the CeeDee Lamb one there, but oh well, take it as you will. This one I'm kind of banking on more of a Cowboys focus, but I think this is going to either way be a nice little scored game. I don't think the defense of the Cowboys is going to step up as much, but I think this is where the offense has to show at least some life in it. Justin Herbert, I don't think is going to throw for that many yards. I think the defense of the Cowboys is strong enough to kind of keep him under. Dak Prescott throwing for over 251.5 yards. I really debated taking the under here, but I feel like, again, if I'm going to bank on that kind of more Cowboys type of game, I feel more comfortable going with the over here just because I don't know if I feel like the rushing game is going to be strong for the Cowboys in this game. So I decided to kind of give Dak the over here, though I don't think he's hit it very often in terms of I don't think he's gone over 251.5 yards very often. We'll see, because I am giving him over 1.5 touchdowns as well, or passing touchdowns as well. I think that he can eke this out in a more high-scoring offensive game. Justin Herbert, I think, will score under 1.5 touchdowns passing. That was a riskier one as well. I decided to go with it because I think Eckler will be really involved in this game back, and I think he's going to be more rushing. Going into Eckler, over 51.5 yards, even against a good defense like Cowboys, feels really nice. And even though I think this game is going to kind of be close the whole time, so I don't think anybody's going to have a really strong rushing game in that regard. CeeDee Lamb getting over 68.5 yards. Again, I feel good about CeeDee Lamb this week. Brandon Cooks just hasn't been much involved anyway. I think he's been around at 30.5, but I think under for this game is fine. Keenan Allen, under 82.5, and I'll be fully honest with you. I put this one purely because I'm playing him this week in one of my fantasy leagues. 82.5 is aggressive, though. I think it's a really big margin, but he has been doing super well. I think this week he might be more of an end zone type of guy than a yardage guy. So it kind of goes against my Justin Herbert under 1.5 yard or touchdowns, but we'll see. I'm kind of curious. In hindsight, maybe Justin Herbert going for over 1.5 would be better, but either way, I'm not too upset with that. Josh Palmer decided to go under there. Wanted to throw an extra one. Jake Ferguson under 3.5 receptions. Think he's been hitting 3 and 4. So it's kind of a flip of the coin, but again, I think it's going to be more of a kind of a one-dimensional kind of option for both these teams with Austin Eckler and CeeDee Lamb - Dak Prescott with that regard. And Gerald Everett over 2.5. Again, that's an aggressive one since he's been hitting 3, I believe, pretty consistently. So going with over 2.5 feels kind of nice there. And that's it. That's the video. That's all my bets this week. I debated on making some more because I had $10 still to balance, but I was like, well, we're good with it. I'm just going to roll with this week. But if you are interested, stick around and kind of keep an eye on some other stuff that were kind of coming out. I really do want to share them, but I really don't until we get them at least recorded and scheduled, and that way the boys are kind of in it and ready to go. But I do have another series, and I've been trying for weeks now, trying to get this going on my computer. Between my time and computer, it's been kind of rough. We'll see, and maybe it's more of an off-season type of series, I'll be honest with you. But we'll see. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed kind of my talking through the parlays. I feel like I'm getting better and better, more comfortable making these bets, and maybe a little too comfortable making some of these really too quickly without doing proper thought and research. But I've been feeling a lot better about these, and actually, we do have an extra little part of the video I forgot about. So if you give me 1 second, I'll pull it up. Last cut of the video. Now we're done with FanDuel part of it, but we still have a a Eliminator Challenge one, where I had 25 picks to start with, had 6 going into last week. I now only have 3. One of them is passed. I picked the Chiefs this week. I felt really confident in the Chiefs win. against the Broncos, of course. But I have 2 more this week against for the Eagles and Dolphins, so fairly safe ones. I'm going to keep it fairly safe until we have to start making some riskier ones. We have 3 picks, so I kind of want to make this series again a little bit longer. Maybe this whole FanDuel stuff ends when this ends, because I got only 3 picks left. It won't end this week, but I did choose the Commanders, Packers, and Patriots. In hindsight, the Patriots is a really bad pick. I don't think the Commanders or Packers were a terrible pick, but it definitely could have been better. I will say that. I'm kind of curious. Let's actually look and see just how many how many people are still in the running. Is it like roughly 19,000 people surviving 144,737? Is that what I'm kind of seeing? 22 entry. Well, that's mine eliminated, but so surviving. So originally everybody started off with 504,508 people total, or entries at least. But now we're about 1/5 of that. It looks like 60% of it probably. I don't know. So interesting. No one looks like they were eliminated. The only one chose the Broncos. It looked like, or at least not enough to make a percentage point. So kind of curious. I'm kind of curious how many people have more of their picks and how many picks are left of each person's. Either way, kind of interesting. Either way, I am for each entry will be aggregate margin for victory of all their picks. Nice, cool. Anyway, that is the Eliminator Challenge. Again, I did feel more confident in the Chiefs winning as a safe bet. Eagles winning. They're still undefeated. I don't think this week is going to be any different. And Dolphins winning against, oh my gosh, who are they playing? My God, who are they playing? It's going to kill me if I don't look it up because I'm always Panthers. That's right. So I feel fairly confident about all these picks. So now this concludes the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please go check out some of the other series that we have on the channel. And stay tuned. Comment down below what you want to let us know. And see you guys later. Peace.